Hello students, today our topic is failure mechanism under engineering materials. Failure mechanism of fracture. In engineering materials, material failure is the loss of load capacity of the material. In material science, the material failure is the loss of load carrying capacity of the material. The fracture is the separation of an object or material into two or more pieces under the action of the stress. Steps in the fracture. First is the crack formation and the second is the crack prolongation. Depending upon the ability of the material to undergo plastic deformation before the fracture, there are the two fracture modes. The first is a ductile fracture and the second is the brittle fracture. The first is the ductile fracture. Ductile fracture is a type of the fracture characterized by the extensive deformation of plastic or necking. This usually occurs prior to the actual fracture. The term ductile rupture refers to the failure of the high ductile material. In such cases, materials pull apart instead of cracking. In a ductile fracture, extensive plastic deformation takes place before fracture. The term rupture or ductile rupture describes the unlimited failure of tough ductile material loaded in tension. Rather than the cracking, the material pull apart, generally leaving a rough surface. In this case, there is a slow prolongation and the absorption of a large amount of energy before fracture. The second is the brittle fracture. The brittle fracture is the fracture of a metallic object or other material without appreciable prior plastic deformation. It is a break in a brittle piece of metal that fails because stress exceeds cohesion. In a brittle fracture, no apparent plastic deformation takes place before fracture. In brittle crystalline material, fracture can occur by cleavage as a result of tensile stress acting normal to crystallographic plane with the low bonding. This type of fracture usually occur in material like ceramics, ice and cold metals.